Too Close for Podcast, episode 221. No, not really. It's season 2, episode 21. From May 4th, 1982. We've jumped forward a few months there. These are the last two episodes of season 2. They were burning off right before the summer started. This one is maybe the longest title. A Policeman's Wife is Not a Happy One. That's really the title.
Really? That's a weird title.
Nothing about a crawl space in the title does.
So this week, we find Henry on the phone with a repairman trying to get his heater fixed. Monroe comes in and tells Henry that he used to work at a heater and cooling company. He's not really into it until he hears that Monroe could save him maybe $200. So then he lets Monroe climb up into the crawl space, and then Monroe ends up falling through the ceiling into the closet, which used to be Muriel's darkroom, which has now been transformed into a regular closet. Am I correct?
Still the darkroom as far as I know.
It really didn't look like the darkroom to me.
It's the same place.
Well, I mean the same place, but the things in the darkroom
Well, yeah,
did
you
not
might be
look
right
like
about
dark. They look like just closet or storeroom items.
that. Well, maybe they use it for both purposes. Who knows?
Well, she's not doing her photography.
That
at
is
this
true.
point.
That is true. So why isn't April living in that closet?
I don't know. So just then, April, Jackie, Sarah, and Muriel get home from the supermarket with their bags of groceries. And Jackie's pretty excited, wanting to know if Brad has called. You remember Brad, right?
We haven't seen him since episode 210.
So Jackie finds out Henry's been on the phone the whole time. So Jackie goes downstairs to use the phone there to call Brad. But as she goes to the front door, there's Brad right there. And they give a big hug and a fake kiss. Later, like 7 days later, the repairman finally comes to fix the heat.
And so that guy goes up into the crawl space just as easily as Monroe did, which was so strange. And they sing the same song, too.
And then we cut to another scene
Having a heat wave, tropical heat wave.
where Jackie tells Henry that Brad is now going to be working at a desk job. So she won't have to worry about him getting shot anymore like he did. Apparently, he was shot.
Yeah, back in episode 210, I believe. What was that one called? Do you remember?
I'm not really, no.
Cop Out.
Cop Out. I should have remembered
Not
that.
the Kevin Smith movie.
We were all about Kevin Smith earlier, so Jackie goes downstairs to talk with Brad. Brad tells Jackie that he wants to work back on the streets again. He doesn't like the desk job. And the wedding's off. So later, like maybe 5-10 minutes later, Jackie tells Henry what's going on with Brad. Henry says she'll get over it, right? Just grow up, Jackie. These things happen. But Jackie gets upset and runs out. Then later, no, or maybe right then, Muriel talks to Henry and says maybe Brad is just having cold feet. Maybe he's just nervous about the upcoming wedding or the idea of being married. And maybe Henry should talk to Brad. Then Henry goes to the police station to speak with Brad, who apparently is still on desk duty because he's dealing with some nonsense.
The Beckleys.
The Beckleys.
And their bellhop hooker.
Yeah. He convinces Brad to reconsider the benefits of marriage.
Gookies.
Gookies. That should be the title of this. If we titled these episodes, it'd be Gookies.
I'm telling you, it's much more succinct than a policeman's wife is not a happy one.
Henry ends up going to the girl's apartment to talk to Jackie. And he tells Jackie that he's talked to Brad. He asks Jackie to come up to dinner just to deal with the weird situation. So he says, come upstairs and have dinner with us. But just then, as he's leaving, Brad shows up in the first of one of his many weird costumes that he wears throughout.
Oh, let us not forget original Brad Turner in drag. You remember that?
I don't consider that the real Brad.
That's not the that's fake Brad.
That was just a Brad.
So real Brad's first disguise here.
As a Hasidic Jew.
And he had Henry fooled.
So he tells Henry that he's thought about what they were talking about, and he shows the engagement ring he's bought for Jackie. And Henry says, go on in there. You have my blessing, fella. You and my daughter. Okay. Act 3.
Shalom. The weird thing about this episode, we were referencing episode 210, Cop Out. That was written by Bruce Kalish and Philip John Taylor. This episode was written by Austin Kalish and Irma Kalish. 3 Kalish writing on this show. 3 people whose last name is Kalish.
They must be related.
I would hope so. And they're writing the other Brad Turner episode. Now, you think back to that episode and you realize this is all April's fault. It really is. If she hadn't been sneaking out, going to Alcatraz late, then making them think that she was breaking in, they never would have called the cops, and she never would have met Brad in the first place. That's interloping.
Well, that's fate and destiny, right?
And at least a couple episodes of this plot line, which I think continues into season 3. We see some more Brad, right? I think so.
Well, they get married and move off, don't they?
No, I don't think it goes that far. Spoiler, but she ends up, moving away.
They break up?
But yeah, I'm pretty sure they break up, yeah.
Wow.
It's basically the same episode again, happening later. This was production number 222, so it was the actual season end. Although, there's still one more episode, which is next week, which was production number 219, which technically took place the week before Iris showed up the first time, and that was shown weeks ago. So they had these all kind of jumbled up. Next week, when April moves a piano in, technically the piano should already be there in the episode, and I don't recall seeing a piano. I think they just kind of hand-waved over that. Anyways, let's do those Cosmic Cow totals. We had April as an interloper one more time, but she didn't really do much. I say her interloping is left over from sneaking into the house all those moons ago. Guest stars Brad Turner, new actor. Heater guy Vic, the serviceman as he was called in the credits, but his shirt did say Vic on it. And the people at the station, which included Mr. and Mrs. Beckley and the hooker. Those were the only ones credited, as they were the only people in the police station that talked. How Henry managed to just wander into the back of the police station, we'll never know.
The squad room.
The squad room, that's right. Now, Henry's sweaters. I am going out on a limb and guessing it said Emerson. It was hard to make out because he was so bundled up that you could only see a few letters of the sweater. And so I had to do some freeze framing and guessing, and I'm pretty sure it was Emerson. One-sided phone conversations. Yes, Henry to the heaters. 3 instances of Henry pointing. Grocery bag props were back. We had a freeze frame transition of the police precinct. Muriel singing was mentioned, being on the road with the band, as well as Rich Holland was mentioned. You remember Rich Holland, who was dating Jackie as well, way back in episode 112. It all ties together. He was the drummer in the band, right?
Yeah.
Muriel's bump is still there and wasn't really getting in the way too much this week.
Not really at all.
No.
You couldn't have told. No.
She was
no.
quite active. We had the long intro with the cookbook. Scale 1 to 5, I'm going to give this a 3. Borderline 2. Kind of average. But my favorite parts were probably some of the bizarre, odd happenings, such as the opening shot of the cord. I believe that was the electric blanket. That was odd. We usually don't open with a
Is
strange
that what it
shot
did?
like
It
that.
followed the cord to the blanket and then up his body?
Either that or yeah. Because at first I thought it was a telephone cord, but that doesn't make sense. So.
He also got racked with that cord.
He did. He really did. Another bizarre thing: Monroe's ladder climbing and the heater guy. They just kind of
Spider-Man.
stepped right off of there. And of course, the extremely dated E.F. Hutton joke, which only certain people will know. And
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
And what did we learn this week? I had to stretch for this one again, just like last time, but we learned that when it's cold, Henry doesn't point.
That is true. We did not see,
He is too cold to point.
not even in the policeman, the police department.
Next week, we'll be back for what really ended up being the season finale of Season 2, even though it's 3 episodes prior to the finale in the production order. Don't Shoot the Piano Movers, where April's dad sends her a piano, which is a hell of a thing to do. Move your piano in when it's your last episode as a character.
You can hear my show on Stitcher. Stitcher is radio on demand. Download the free app today. Listen anytime, anywhere.
Create custom playlists. Rate and review my show on Stitcher. And over 4 million car dashboards.
On demand and on the go. No downloading, no syncing, no wasted memory. Stream your favorite podcasts. Don't have Stitcher? Download it free today at Stitcher.com or in the App Store.